All right, what do we got here? The M&P 1522. This is my version of the ultimate survival gun. Survival gun that has to do everything good. Everything. As you can see looking at it, it's a slightly older model with the quad rail. It's not the newer Sport. We have one of those too. But this one's set up as the ultimate go-to mountain gun. The paracord that I wrapped around the quad rail, you can see this. It's all paracord that just unties. And it's about 30 foot of paracord, roughly. So it's a decent amount of paracord. Use your imagination. Tourniquets, snares, you know, save some ammo if you're really stranded somewhere and you need a gun. This is the gun you want to have. Besides the obvious, the light. It's a simple push button with the momentary, so you do have the momentary on it. Completely waterproof, and it takes that 3 volt battery. I got the old iron sights on it. There's a standard iron sights that came with the slightly older model. This isn't the first one. Obviously, it's got the muzzle brake, so it's the updated with the blue springs inside. And you may notice it's got a saw grip on it. I'll explain that more in a little bit. But your standard M&P 1522 that doesn't take too much work here. I'm gonna talk about the sights first of all. I don't want any glass on top of my gun to break. If I drop it out in the mountains, I have stones to deal with, right? We got stones we gotta deal with out here, so I don't want to screw up my sights. I would love to have the flip-up sights that the updated ones have, and maybe I'll have those eventually, but for now I got these iron sights, and I can tell you one thing. In a standing position out shooting the other day, just plinking around, I had a target up at 150 yards. And this is 150 yards with iron sights. So 6 of the 10 rounds, one of them was a little nip here, and the others hit in another place on the box. But if we're talking 150 yards, I didn't think I would even come close to touching it unless I got one single lucky shot. And so I threw 10 rounds at it. We were shooting at a bunch of other targets too, but 150 yards, okay. Enough said about how good the iron sights are on the Goofy 22. You don't need all that extra garbage if you know how to shoot your gun. And one thing about shooting guns, you can get plenty of trigger time with this sucker running 22 long rifle. Hell, I just checked today, they're 34 bucks a brick now. Ugh. Anyway, you're in the mountains, you get stranded. You got your paracord, you got your light. Now, this light would be great for Morse code. I have a little piece of paper that has Morse code on it. What I also have with this saw grip, hold on, safety nuts out there. We are clear. All right, with this saw grip, I've got 60 extra rounds of ammo. So you're stuck. You got your 25 rounds. You can reload this mag 2 times, plus have an extra 10 rounds of emergency just in case you need it, off of what's just in this grip here alone. Again, we got tons of rounds. Just one single gun to take. Look at all this extra cargo. Now inside of here, I also got taped to it a little razor blade. So there's a little razor blade inside the grip here, and that's what stays in the grip. The rest of the modifications, I'm sure you guys saw this coming, they're happening back here. So if I pop off this nice little rubber grommet, I got a couple magic tricks here. One of them is one of these little 3 volt batteries for the light. Inside of this little tube, this is a little plastic waterproof tube. Now this should be waterproof in itself, but just in case that fails, I got another fail-safe here, being this little waterproof tube. You can find these at random places. Inside of this guy, we got some tin foil. Now you may need tin foil for who knows what, something. You could use it as a wind deflector for starting a small fire. You could use it to store char cloth. You could use your imagination. I need some tin foil. I got the tin foil just in case. If I got a vehicle problem and I need a little extra tin foil, let's say a fuse blew and I need to jump the cable or whatever. Yeah, there's a million uses for this tin foil. We got some band-aids in here just in case you get a little cut, and I really should have something to clean out a cut, like one of those little alcohol swabs. Hey Sugar, you want to grab me an alcohol swab? Yes. I'm gonna put this in the gun right now. Okay. Also in here, we got some money, a little roll of money. Now, in this little roll of money, I taped it together, but it's a little piece of what looks like 600 grit sandpaper, and that sandpaper is absolutely perfect. Thank you. That stuff is absolutely perfect for lighting matches. Oh, we got some matches. Wait a second, what are you talking about here? You're telling me we got extra ammo. We got fire starting capability here. We got a little billfold, hey, maybe you do end up getting out of the mountains, your truck's still stuck and you hit a little store on the way. I'd love to have $100 in there, but times are tough right now. The other thing going on in here is this little guy. Okay, Morse code it is. Check it out. That is also equipped in this little tube. So for emergency purposes, I'd say we got some pretty good survival gear here. Now there is one thing missing that I want to add in there, and that's one of these little alcohol prep pads. Now the only problem with these, if any of you guys have had these before, you'll know that they get a little air leak and they expire, and so you got to kind of be careful with that. And if you're storing it inside of here, you got to be careful it touches everything else. So what I'm going to do with this guy is I'm going to wrap it right around the battery, and it'll slip right in there with the battery, and then this will slip right down in on top of it. Not going to have any issues. Added to the arsenal. Well, that's it. That's the survival gun. And shit, I guess you can watch me put it back together.
It goes back together pretty quick, though.
What's that?
It goes back together pretty quick.
Yeah, it does. So you're in the woods. You need fire, mainly. You got your fire. We got jackrabbits out here. I haven't eaten one yet, but I'm not against it. Let's just put it that way. I'm not against eating a jackrabbit. That's a lot of jackrabbit. If you gotta survive for like a week or something, whatever it may be, you gotta survive. Shoot. Did this a little backwards. Hold on. See, this is a long ass video. What the hell else can I tell you guys about it? It's a badass gun. Show me another gun that you got set up as a survival gun that's got all these capabilities. Now I know you're saying I don't have a blade, but there is a razor blade right inside here. I didn't take it out because I got it taped in, but here, just for argument's sake, there it is. Little razor blade right inside the grip there. So we can cut paracord, we can make snares, and it's not a big knife, but it does the gig. All right, it's back together. Alcohol prep swab, battery, waterproof tube. Ask me no questions, I will tell you no lies. That's back in place. Our cutting tool, our razor blade is going back in place. 60 rounds of ammo. It takes a little shake here and there to get this guy back together. They like to stick up, Zachary. 30 rounds. Just do a little shakery. Oh, you know what else? So what I did specifically with this, you may have noticed that Morse code paper. There's a little excess paper there for leaving notes, and I could add a little more paper to this, yes. I've got some of these bullets that are just straight lead, and it writes on that paper just perfect. So, again, 60 rounds in a grip. That's pretty badass. Shit, let's put it back together properly here. Let's put up the butt stock. There it is. You are ready to go. M&P 1522, my vote for the ultimate survival gun.